Hello, friends. I'm still not Jim Nance. Kurt Berglund here with Pine Tar Baseball. And if you were with me the other day for my demo of the manager cards that are available for Pine Tar Baseball at ttlbaseballgame.com, you know that I think that they represent an exciting part of the game and a lot of fun. And today, I'm going to demo the use of those manager cards in an actual Pine Tar game so you can see how they would impact gameplay. The teams, the 1986 Boston Red Sox, who were managed, of course, by John McNamara, and they will be visiting the 1989 Oakland Athletics. Both these teams are available right now. The Red Sox are available. All you have to do, if you are a subscriber to my channel, all you have to do is send me an email at berglund.kurt@yahoo.com, and I'll put that in the description for the video, and I'll be happy to send you the 1986 Red Sox PDF for free. I said free. Did I mention they're free? And the 1989 Oakland Athletics are part of the Great Teams of the 20th Century set available from me as well, and I will put that information in the description for the video as well. Or you can just email me at berglund.kurt@yahoo.com and we can talk about that as well. They're available both in PDF and in card format. All right, so let's talk about the managers. I'm going to show you the La Russa and McNamara cards before we get the game started, and I'm going to use those cards managing these two teams, because those were the managers for these teams, in the game today. So let's go to the manager cards and today's starting lineups. At various points in the game today, I'm going to be pulling these cards out so you can see what I'm looking at when I do my managing strategy alternatives. But everything for strategy is covered, for the most part, on these cards right in front of you. So for the Red Sox, John McNamara's strategies, he has a limit of 7 intentional walks per series. Some years, Johnny Mac went crazy on the intentional passes, so he can do as many as he wants to. Maximum innings pitch, he can go +1 for 1 starter per series. I'm going to use that today, and I'll show you how. Hit and run 4 times per game. Stolen bases, 3 stolen base points per game. And that chart, of course, is on the Pine Tar Baseball chart. The MAC bonus is to add 7 to all sacrifice hit chances on all sacrifice, not suicide squeeze bunt attempts. Tony La Russa, 2 intentional walks per series. He has add 1 maximum inning pitch per game to 1 relief pitcher. Hit and run 3 times per game, little less than McNamara, and 4 stolen base points per game. The Tony bonus, when runners are on first and second, add +10 to all sacrifice hit chance ratings on bunt attempts. So here I'm trying to reward you for doing one of La Russa's most commonly used strategies, which is the sacrifice bunt with runners on first and second. And there are Tony's teams and his career records. So we're going to come back to these more as the game continues today. Here are the lineups for the visiting 1986 Boston Red Sox. It's Wade Boggs leading off at third base. Marty Barrett batting second at second base. Bill Buckner batting third at first base. Dwight Evans batting fourth in right field. Jim Rice batting fifth in left field. Don Baylor batting sixth. He's your DH. Rich Gedman batting seventh. He'll be behind the plate. Tony Armas batting eighth. He'll be in center field. And Spike Owen batting ninth. He'll play short. On the mound, it's Rocket Roger Clemens. He's on the road. He has an A+ rating the first 2 times through the order, and then he drops to a B rating after that. Strikeout modifier 55 to 60 and 77. He has 8 innings pitched, but I'm giving him, as his maximum innings pitch is 8 innings pitched, but I'm going to give him the MAC bonus of +1 to 1 starter per series, so he's actually going to have 9 innings maximum innings pitched. Alrighty, so there is Roger Clemens. Alright, so here are the homestanding Athletics lineup. Leading off in left field, it's Ricky Henderson. Batting second at third base, Carney Lansford. Batting third in right field, Jose Canseco. Batting fourth, Here's the guy who's supposed to be batting fourth. It's Dave Parker, the DH. Batting fifth at first base, Mark McGwire. Batting sixth in center field, Dave Henderson. Batting seventh behind the plate, Terry Steinbach. Batting eighth at second base, Tony Phillips. Batting ninth at shortstop, Walt Weiss. On the mound, he's not with the Eurythmics. He's the starting pitcher for the Oakland A's Athletics. Dave Stewart. He has, at home, an A+, rating the first 2 times through the order, and he drops to an A after that. He has no strikeout or walk modifiers. He can go 7 innings, but I'm going to pull out the Tony La Russa card, which tells us we can add 1 inning pitched per game to 1. Oh, not a starter, a reliever. So you got to read these carefully. Not the starter. The reliever can get 1 inning pitched added to his maximum innings pitched. So Stewart stays at 7 innings pitched for his workload today, unless things are going well, and then in which case he can potentially keep going. All right, so there are your lineups and your managers. I'm going to be rolling 2 dice instead of the usual 4. The red die will be the 10s digit. The white die will be the 1s digit today as we roll for the Pine Tar results. Wade Boggs steps in the batter's box, and we are ready to go with this battle between these 2 pennant-winning ball clubs. 82 is hit in the air to right field. That's Jose Canseco, and he's going to make the catch for out number 1. Dave Stewart and his famous glare working today for Oakland. There we go. Marty Barrett steps in against Stewart. That's an 84. Hit to center. Dave Henderson under it for out number 2. And here's Bill Buckner. The pitch is hit on the ground to Walt Weiss. Walt gathers it and fires to McGwire, and there's 3 gone. It's a 1-2-3 first inning for Dave Stewart. And we go to the bottom of the first with no score. Roger Clemens on the mound. Of course, the big year in 86 for Clemens. Henderson steps in. Lansford and Canseco to follow. The pitch to Ricky is hit in the air to center. Tony Armas under it. And there's 1 gone. Now it's Lansford. Clemens winds and delivers to Carney. That's an 80. Hit in the air to center. That's Tony Armas one more time. And there are 2 gone. And here comes Jose Canseco. Of course, the 89 Athletics were the winners of the Earthquake World Series against the Giants. The pitch hit in the air to right. Dwight Evans toward the line, and he's going to get there. For out number 3, we've played 1 complete, and we have no score in Oakland. All right, so for the Red Sox in inning number 2, it'll be Evans, Rice, and Baylor. Righty, righty, righty against Dave Stewart. And hitting the air to center is Dave Henderson. And he's going to make the catch for out number 1. Stewart's pitch to Jim Rice. Ground ball, Carney Lansford. He throws to McGwire for out number 2. And now it's Baylor. Stewart winds and delivers to Baylor, and it's grounded to Lansford. He throws to McGwire, and that will retire the side after an inning and a half. We have no scores. We have no base runners yet in this one. Clemens back on the bump. He will face Parker, McGwire, and Dave Henderson, lefty, righty, righty, in inning number 2 for Oakland. The pitch to Big Dave is hit to center. Tony Armas under it for his 3rd opportunity of the game, and he catches it for out number 1. Clemens to McGwire. Ground ball, Marty Barrett. He throws to Buckner for out number 2. And now Dave Henderson. Pitch to David. Ground ball, base hit. That's going to get through into right field. Dwight Evans collects it. Throws it back toward the infield. Henderson's aboard with the first hit of the game. First base runner of the game. And with 2 outs, it'll be Steinbach. Now, let's look at Henderson. This is Dave Henderson, of course. Now, we know, if we look at the stolen base chart here, Dave Henderson is a C. We know he has a 60% chance of making it without factoring in Gedman's arm. Sending him would cost 2 stolen base points. We can send him, though, only in the 6th inning or later. And we can look at LaRusse's card for stolen bases, and he can burn 4 stolen base points per game. So he's got to be a little bit careful about who he sends and when. The other factor to consider is that Rich Gedman's arm is a -16. So Gedman threw out, I think it was nearly 50% of the base runners in 1986 that tried to steal on him. So he had a wonderful year throwing out runners. So Henderson's going to hold. Steinbach comes to the plate, and with 2 outs, here comes Clemens' pitch. Hit to left center. Arm is back, but he will get there, and that will retire Oakland in inning number 2. We've played 2 complete, and we have no score. In the Red Sox third, it'll be the bottom third of their order. Gedman, Armas, and Spike Owen, 7, 8, 9 batters. Lefty-righty switch. Stewart's pitch to Gedman is hit on a line right at Carney Lansford, and he makes the play for out number 1. Tony Armas. Stewart, the wind and the delivery. Hit on the ground to Tony Phillips. He throws to Mark McGuire for out number 2. And Spike Owen with 2 outs and nobody aboard for Boston. 61 is grounded to short. That's Walt Weiss, and Walter throws to McGuire, and it's 9 up and 9 down in inning numbers 1, 2, and 3 for Dave Stewart. For Clemens in the bottom of the third, it's Phillips, Weiss, and Ricky Henderson. 8-9-1. The pitch to Tony. Ball 4. He walks him. Now, Tony could steal you a base some seasons, but this wasn't one of them. He's a D stealer on opportunities, so he can't go until the 7th or later, but when he does, he's only a 36% chance to steal. Plus, you subtract Gedman's 16, that knocks him down to a 20% chance. Not good. Here's Walt Weiss. All right, so now if we're thinking about bunting with Weiss, remember you only get the Tony bonus adding 10 to the sacrifice hit rating on bunt attempts if there are runners on first and second. So Weiss does not get the bonus. He would only get a 72% chance, which is pretty good, but we're not going to use it at this time. Clemens, the stretch and the pitch. Hey, struck him out, and there's Rogers first. 1 out, 1 on for Ricky Henderson, top of the order. Ricky's 0 for 1. The pitch from Clemens is hit to right, toward right center. Dwight Evans is going to get there and make the catch. Tony Phillips retreats to first, and there are 2 outs now. Carney Lansford at the plate. Clemens the stretch and the pitch. Ground ball to Spike Owen. He's going to go the short way to Marty Barrett covering second to retire Oakland in the third. So we've played 3 complete, and we have no score in Oakland. Top of the order for Boston coming up in the 4th. It's Boggs, Barrett, and Buckner coming up. All right, the Red Sox still looking for their first base runner. Wade Boggs leads off the 4th inning. The pitch. 23, it's slapped by Boggs up the middle, and it's just past Tony Phillips' outstretched glove into center field, and Boggs is aboard with a single. Here comes Marty Barrett. And they could do a hit and run here, but the problem, the limiting factor on hit and runs against Oakland is Steinbach's arm. If the pitch is missed, Derry Steinbach has a -10 with his throwing, so you got to factor that into your decision to hit and run. But we're going to try it anyway, because I am known as Mr. Vegas. Okay, so let's look at John McNamara's manager card. He can hit and run up to 4 times per game. So he's a hit and run kind of a manager. Marty Barrett, of course, could handle the bat. So we're going to do the hit and run at this time. Stewart does not have strikeout or walk modifiers on his card, which is a benefit as well. All right, so to review our hit and run, here we go, hit and run modifiers. We had +5 to the batter's roll. We had +4 to the white die on ground out rolls, so we're avoiding the double play, and there's a 100% chance the base runner takes an extra base on a hit. If a hit happens, there's a 100% chance there will be an extra base taken. So Boggs is going to go with the pitch, Stewart the stretch, and the pitch to Barrett is a 53. All right, so if we follow the rules here on the hit and run, and I'm marking down on my scorecard that I'm using it once for the Red Sox here, so I keep track of that. We're going to add +5 to the batter's roll. So this goes from a 53 to a 58. All right, so the roll is to the shortstop. That is Walt Weiss. All right, so it's hit to the shortstop. Boggs was off with the pitch. So notice what happens here. Instead of the shortstop outcome being a fielder's choice, which is what it would have been, 53. What it would have been is a double play ball hit to Weiss. He would have gone to Phillips, and the relay to McGuire would have doubled up Barrett. But we add 5 because of the hit and run being in effect. So it goes from a ground out double play to a ground out with the runner advancing. So Weiss fields the ball, sees that he has no shot at getting Boggs at second, and makes the play to first to retire Barrett with Boggs moving up to second base. There's your hit and run. So with 1 out, and I've marked on my scorecard that McNamara has used the hit and run 1 time in the game so far. It's Buckner to face Stewart. The pitch from Stewart to Buckner is a 35. Here we have the pitcher modifier table, and I'm using the advanced pitcher modifier table today. It's a 35, which is a strikeout for Buckner. Stewart is an A-plus pitcher. We're still the second time through the order. A strikeout remains a strikeout. So Buckner strikes out and does not advance the runner at all. So there's 2 outs with Boggs still at second base, and now it's Dwight Evans. Stewart the stretch, and the pitch is a 91. That's hit in the air to left. Under it is Ricky Henderson, and he's going to make the catch for out number 3. So the Red Sox threaten but don't score. In the 4th, we played 3.5, and we have no score in Oakland. Clemens back out. He'll face Canseco, Parker, and McGuire. 3, 4, 5. Meat of the order for Oakland in 89. 33. Hey, struck him out, and there's 2 strikeouts for the Rocket in this game. Now it's Parker. Pitch to Dave is so it's a 5. So we know the pitcher modifier table is going to be involved because it ends in a 0 or a 5 here between 0 and 50. So we have a double for Parker, and that's going to be hit down the left field line. Rice has to go get it. if it actually happens. Let's check. A double against an A-plus pitcher with nobody on base is cut off. That's a ground ball, diving stop by Spike Owen. He gets up and fires to Buckner for the out. And so the double turns into an out because of the interaction between the batter and pitcher in Pine Tar baseball. So now it's McGuire with 2 outs and nobody on. Red Sox have 1 hit. The Athletics have 1 hit. The pitch. Hit in the air to right. Dwight Evans right in his tracks will make the catch, and that retires the side in the 4th. We go to the 5th with no score in Oakland. It's the 5, 6, 7 hitters coming up for Boston against Dave Stewart, Jim Rice, Don Baylor, Rich Gedman. And I'm dropping dice left and right. Okay, Stewart's pitch to Rice is a 67. That's hit on the ground to Carney Lansford. He gloves it and throws to McGuire for out number 1. Here's Don Baylor. Stewart winds and delivers. Ball 4. Baylor, as he did so often in his career, draws a walk. And now it's Gedman with 1 out and 1 on. It's Baylor on base, but not really a threat to go anywhere. So Gedman will bat. Stewart, the stretch, checks Baylor, and the pitch home is a base hit. A base hit to right field for Canseco. We'll check Baylor's speed. He is medium speed, moderate speed. So he's going to go around second and head to third and get there without a throw as Canseco's throw comes into second. There are Red Sox at the corners now. And Armas comes to the plate, Tony Armas, with 1 out. So we check our strategy with the manager, and that's John McNamara's card, of course. We had +7 to all sacrifice hit ratings on all sac bunt attempts. Not the squeeze. Well, Tony Armas wasn't much of a bunter in 1986. And there's 1 out, so don't usually bunt with 1 out. Unless the pitcher's up, of course. And there's a man on third. So there's a whole lot of reasons not to bunt. And so Armas is going to swing away. First and third. Oakland infield is going to play a double play depth. Stewart the stretch and the pitch. Armas is 0 for 1 today. Hey, struck him out, and Stewart with a big strikeout there to prevent a sacrifice fly or any kind of a run from scoring. And with 2 outs, it's Spike Owen. Red Sox still at the corners. 2 outs, top of the 5th. No score. Stewart looking to wriggle off the hook. The pitch to Spike. And we have an error check. We have an error check on a 29. So to do that, we consult our chart right here, and we roll 3 dice. We need our 3rd die for this experience. So we got red, white, and blue going. Red and white tell us who might make the error, and the blue die tells us if it actually happens. So it's a 13, so that is to Buckner. Does Buckner make an error? Well, it's a 7. So we compare that to, I'm sorry, it's not Buckner, it's McGuire. Hit to McGuire. Does Mark McGuire make this play? He is an E4. That's higher, a 7 is higher than a 4, so McGuire makes the play on the pop-out, and that will retire Boston in the 5th. We played halfway, and we have no score. The Red Sox leave 2. They had men at the corners with 1 out and did not score. So now it's the 6, 7, 8 hitters for Oakland up. Dave Henderson, Steinbach, and Phillips. Righty-righty switch. The pitch. 74 is hit to right. It's a looper. Falling fast. Dwight Evans gets there. Out number 1. Now it's Steinbach. Carries 0 for 1. Dave Henderson has the only Oakland hit in this game. The pitch. And we have another error check. So this will be a test for the Boston defense. Red and white die tell us who. Blue die tell us if it happens. This is hit to first. It's a 1. So we have to check Buckner's error rating. His error rating is a 5. 1 is less than 5, so error on Buckner. And it'll be a 1 base error because the chart tells us so. So it's a 1 out E3 on Buckner as Steinbach reaches. And now Tony Phillips comes to the plate. Clemens in the mini jam, 1 out, 1 on. Phillips walked in the third. The pitch to Tony Phillips is a 35. That ends in a 5, so we check the modifier table. It's a strikeout on Phillips' card, and it stays a strikeout with the A+ rating of Roger Clemens. So there's 2 gone now, with Clemens now having 3 strikeouts, and Weiss comes to the plate. Clemens the stretch. Steinbach still at first. The pitch, 35. Another one, same thing. Strikeout on a 35 roll. Going to stay a strikeout, and that will be 4 strikeouts and the end of the Oakland Athletics 5th inning. We've played 5 complete with no score. On the West Coast, Boston will send up the top of their order Boggs, Barrett, and Buckner in the 6th inning. Stewart winds and delivers, slapped by Boggs into center. Here comes Dave Henderson, and he gets there for out number 1. Marty Barrett coming up. Tony Barrett is his long-lost brother. No, I don't know. Could be. Marty Barrett's 0 for 2. Tony Barrett hasn't batted yet. The pitch is hit in the air to left. Ricky Anderson toward the line is going to make the catch for out number 2. And Bill Buckner. Buck is 0 for 2 in the game. The pitch, 69, is hit to right. Canseco toward right center makes the catch, and that will retire the Red Sox in the 6th. Stewart's grade has dropped to an A, but it didn't matter in the 6th because it was a 1-2-3, and we go to the bottom of the 6th. Clemens starting his 3rd time through the order. He drops to a B rating. It'll be the top of the Oakland order: Ricky Anderson, Carney Lansford, Jose Canseco. In the Oakland 6th, the pitch to Ricky is hit on the ground to Buckner. He's going to flip to Clemens covering, and there's 1 gone. Now it's Lansford. Carney's 0 for 2. The pitch to him. Here's trouble. Base hit for Lansford. Right back through the box, up the middle. Armas collects it and throws it back in. 1 out, 1 on for Oakland. Now he can run again a bit, but don't forget that Gedman's got that -16 arm. So that drops Lansford from a 70% chance, or a 70 rating, to a 54 rating, and he's an A Steeler, so he can go, but he's only a 54% chance to make it. Canseco at the plate, 0 for 2. The pitch is hit in the air to center, and that's going to drive Armas back. He gets there for out number 2, and it's going to be Parker with Lansford returning to first. Clemens the stretch. The pitch to Big Dave. Hit to center. Armas into right center. On the run. Gets there. And Clemens has a few hard hit balls, but gets out of it in the 6th. So we go to the 7th with no score in Oakland. Evans, Rice, and Baylor coming up against Dave Stewart. Stewart, of course, an A rating right now. 3rd time through the order. Evans up, 0 for 2 for Dwight in the game, and there's a base hit into left field, just past Walt Weiss's glove, and Ricky Henderson throws it back in. That's the 3rd hit for Boston on the day. Leadoff single. Now, Evans, of course, not much of a threat to steal here, but they could send him. The problem, of course, is that Jim Rice was notorious for grounding into double plays, so they could send him to try and avoid the double play. I'm going to wait to do that, though. Evans not very quick. Stewart the stretch, and the pitch to Rice is going to be drilled into the gap. Ricky Henderson and Dave Henderson are split, and that's going to send Evans to third, where he will hold, and Rice has a double. So it's 2 outs, or I'm sorry, 2 on with nobody out, and that's going to get action going in the Oakland bullpen. Honeycutt and Nelson will start to throw. Lefty-righty double-barreled action, just the way Tony La Russa likes it. And, excuse me, and the infield is going to move in. So, with nobody out, Baylor's up, and the infield is in. Stewart the stretch, and the pitch to Don Baylor is hit in the air to center. Dave Henderson is under it. Tagging at third is Dwight Evans. He will try to score. The throw home from Henderson, and he holds. Ooh, Dave Henderson's arm intimidates Dewey, and he holds at third base, just a bluff move. And so with 1 out now, it's Gedman. Gedman's 1 for 2. Infield still in. The pitch from Stewart. 65 hit on the ground to short. This is Walt Weiss. Now, when the infield is in Pine Tar baseball, what happens? Well, the white die gets a -2, so the 65 here goes to a 63. All right. And the 63 tells us that runners will hold. Tells us that runners will hold, and Evans goes nowhere, and Rice stays at second. So Stewart's close to getting out of this thing thanks to the ground out to Weiss. Now it's Armas. 0 for 2 for Tony. Evans at third, Rice at second, 2 outs, top of the 7th. Stewart the stretch. Checks the runners. There's the pitch. Strikeout modifier, 45. It's a strikeout. We check the pitcher modifier table. It's a strikeout. It stays a strikeout because Stewart's an A, and he gets out of it with his 3rd strikeout of the game. Unbelievable. Dwight Evans singles to lead off the 7th. Jim Rice doubles him to 3rd, and Baylor, Gedman, and Armas all fail to bring the run home. Yikes. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Time to stretch them out in Oakland. We have no score. McGuire, Dave Henderson, Terry Steinbach coming up in the Oakland 7th. Clemens and Stewart in a good one. The pitch. Ground ball, Bill Buckner. He's going to flip to Clemens covering, and there's 1 down in the 7th. Dave Henderson up. Dave Henderson, 1 for 2. He has 1 of the 2 Oakland hits in the game. Carney Lansford has the other. The pitch to Dave. Hey, struck him out, and that's number 5 for Roger. Now it's Steinbach. Terry's 0 for 2. Reached on a Buckner error in the 5th. The pitch. Hey, struck him out, number 6 for Roger. It's a 1-2-3 7th. We go to the 8th with no score. This is a good one. We had a good one. We have a good one. It's Spike Owen, Wade Boggs, Marty Barrett due in the 8th. So Stewart has allowed less than 3 runs. And when you do that, you get a +1 to your maximum innings pitched with no penalties. So he's doing it. So he gets to the 8th inning, and Spike Owen comes up, 0 for 2 for Spike. 4 hits for Boston in the game. The pitch, ground ball, third base. Carney Lansford throws to Mark McGuire for out number 1. Now it's Wade Boggs. Boggs is 1 for 3. The pitch to him. Hit to right, dropping fast. Canseco charging, Canseco catching, and there's 2 outs. Now it's Barrett. 0 for 3 for Marty. The pitch. Hit to center. Dave Henderson under it and puts it away for out number 3. Stewart and Clemens matching pitch for pitch in this one. Bottom of the 8th coming Oakland with Phillips, Weiss, and Ricky Henderson coming up 8-9-1. 3 base runners as Clemens has allowed 2 singles and 1 walk. And 1 man reached on an error. 6 strikeouts for Roger, no runs. Nobody's crossed the pay station for either team. It's Tony Phillips up now. Phillips walked in the 3rd. The pitch. And that's ball 4. Tony's going to take his base. And Walt Weiss is due up. And again, we could do the bunt, but we don't get +10 because there's no runner on second. So it's just a man on first, and that's Phillips. Weiss is going to lay down the bunt just using his normal rating. Clemens the stretch, the pitch, and Weiss lays it down, and Weiss gets it down. He bunted to Buckner, who turns and flips to Marty Barrett, and that'll move Tony Phillips to second base. On the successful bunt, 3-4 if you're scoring, and if you are, yikes. Okay, Ricky Henderson, 0 for 3 in this one. A hit could give the Athletics the lead. Clemens, a B-rated pitcher right now. He has max winning pitch of 8, so he's fine for stamina. The pitch to Ricky is a 45. That's going to be a strikeout, but it ends in a 5. We check the modifier. Hey, struck him out, and that's number 7. Number 7 for the Rocket. And Lansford comes up. 1 for 3 for Carney. Phillips still at second base. The pitch from Clemens to Lansford is a 57. That's grounded to Spike Owen. He throws to Buckner, and we've played 8 complete with no score in Oakland. Are we heading for extra innings? All right, so it's Stewart. Now, Stewart's good until he allows a base runner. Honeycutt and Nelson are still in the bullpen. I'm not getting Eckersley up yet. So it's Buckner, Evans, and Rice, lefty, righty, righty. Buck is 0 for 3. The pitch from Stewart, and that's a walk, but it ends in a 0. So we look at the modifier. Modifier's an A. Hey, struck him out. Second strikeout for Buckner in the game. He never struck out 3 times in a game. And 4th strikeout for Dave Stewart. We go to Evans now. Dwight is 1 for 3. Rice is on deck. The pitch. Ball 4. Lost him. Here comes Rice, and here comes Tony La Russa. He's not going to lose it on this, so it's going to be right-hander Gene Nelson coming on. Stewart's day is done. With 1 out in the 9th and Evans at first, Rice is coming to the plate, who's 1 for 3 with a double. Nelson is an A pitcher at home, but he has strikeout modifiers on 55 to 60 and 77, and he can give you 2 innings pitched. Now, I could give him the +1 maximum innings pitched to make him a 3, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to save that for Eckersley if I need it later on. So, Rice at the plate. Evans at first, Nelson the stretch, and the pitch, that's hit in the air to center. Under it, Dave Henderson, and he will catch it for out number 2. Here comes Baylor, 0 for 2 with a walk on Don's ledger. Nelson the stretch and the pitch. Hit in the air to center one more time. Dave Henderson side saddles that one and makes the catch. That will retire the Red Sox in the 9th. We go to the bottom of the 9th, and the old kind of a run is going to win it for Oakland. Canseco, Parker, and McGuire coming up. Jose 0 for 3. Clemens winds. Clemens is good because he's allowed. So he's got a maximum innings pitched of 8, but he's allowed less than 3 runs. So he hasn't allowed any, in fact. So he gets a 1-inning bonus as well. Plus, I used the McNamara maximum innings pitched bonus here, so he can actually go 10 without any trouble if we need him to. Canseco at the plate. Clemens winds and delivers, and there's a 20. That's going to be a single, but Rogers, it ends in a 0, so we got to check the modifier table. It's a single, and there's no runners on base. The B turns into a walk. So Canseco takes his base, and that's going to get action going in the Red Sox bullpen. Although I don't think I'm going to pull Roger, but I don't really know. So it's Schiraldi and Sambito going to start to throw in the Red Sox bullpen. Lefty-righty double-barreled action just the way Johnny Mac likes it. Parker's 0 for 3. Canseco's at first. Now, he could run, but 65 minus 16 from Gedman knocks him down to a 49. So they're going to let Parker try and do something here. Clemens the stretch, checks Canseco, the pitch to Big Dave Parker. Hit on the ground to Buckner. It's a 51. Hit on the ground to Buckner. He goes to Spike 0 for 1. The relay to Clemens covering first is in time for a rally-killing, soul-crushing 3-6-1 double play turned by Boston. We got 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. Now it's McGuire. 0 for 3 for Mark. The pitch. Hit in the air to right. Dwight Evans back, but he's got room, and he puts it away for out number 3. We are going to have an extra inning ball game today. We go to the 10th with no score in Oakland. Yikes. We got a good one. All right, so we got Gedman, Armas, and Owen coming up. And I'm going to go to Honeycutt here for Oakland and bring in the lefty. So Nelson is done after 2/3 of an inning. Honeycutt comes in for the 10th. Gedman is 1 for 3. Now I could hit for Gedman. But you can see there's quite a platoon differential here. Bringing in the lefty reduces Gedman, so I am going to hit for him. I'm going to call him back, and we're going to go with Dave Henderson to do the pinch hitting. So Dave Henderson will bat for Gedman. And I'm going to have Eckersley start to throw in the Oakland bullpen. All right, so Honeycutt against Henderson. Gedman ends his day 1 for 3. The new catcher in the bottom of the 10th will be Mark Sullivan. All right, Honeycutt, the stretch, the delivery. It's a 16. That's a base hit for Henderson, and it's going to drop in left field in front of Ricky Henderson. So Dave Henderson's aboard. And that's going to bring up Armas, who doesn't bunt very well. All right, so Honeycutt, the stretch. Tex Henderson, the pitch to Armas. Hey, struck him out, and there's one gone in the Boston 10th. Now it's Spike Owen. Could go to the bench again here. Spike, 32 on-base chances. I have nobody left that's better, so they're going to stick with him. Could start Henderson on a hit and run play, and I think I'm going to do that. So we're going to start Henderson on the hit and run. John McNamara, you can do 4 per game. This is number 2 for Boston, so we're going to do the hit and run. There are our modifiers. Honeycutt, the stretch, the delivery. There goes Henderson. It's a 59. All right. So we bump that to a 64, and it's grounded to... Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's not true. So we add 4 to the white die roll. So that means he's already at the 9 maximum. So Henderson started with the pitch. The ball was hit to short, that's Weiss, but it ends in a 9. Walt has to go to first base because we started the runner, and McGuire takes his throw for the out as Dave Henderson moves to second base. So now the lead run is on second base for Boggs. But there are 2 men out, and I've used 2 hit and runs for McNamara in the game. Now it's Boggs. Honeycutt, lefty-lefty matchup. The pitch home to Wade. Boggs is trouble. This is driven to the gap in left center, and it's going to split Dave Henderson and Ricky Henderson and get down and go to the wall. Dave Henderson for the Red Sox comes around third and scores. It's 1-0 Boston. And that will bring up Barrett for Boston against Honeycutt. So I'm going to walk Barrett and get the platoon advantage by going after Buckner. Now, LaRussa, we look at his intentional walks. He has a limit of 2 per series, so I can only walk 1 more guy in this game. So he's used one of his intentional walks. I'm going to mark that on my scorecard. And that'll bring up Buckner. So Boggs is at second, Barrett's at first. There's 2 outs. There's 1 run in. It's 1-0 Boston. Honeycutt facing Buckner. The pitch. Hit to center. Dave Henderson going to get there, and that will retire the side. So the Red Sox get 1 on 2 hits and leave 2 after 9.5 complete. It's 1-0 Boston. So Clemens is coming back out, but my Boston bullpen is ready. Schiraldi and Sambito are good to go. Dave Henderson is up, then Steinbach, then Tony Phillips. Righty-righty switch. As I pause to hydrate. All right, so Dave Henderson is 1 for 3. They need a run to keep this game going. We're in the bottom of the 10th. Clemens winds and delivers to Henderson. There's an error check. So we need our blue die. $20. It's hit to Bill Buckner. The blue die is a 7. Buckner's error number is a 5. The 7 is higher than a 5. So he makes the catch, and that will be 1 out in the Athletics 10th. Now it's Steinbach. Now I could hit for Steinbach here. So let's see what's on the bench. Yikes. Well, Terry's looking better than anything that's on the bench. So we're sticking with him. Clemens winds and delivers in inning number 10. Hit to right, not deep. Dwight Evans, 2 down. Last chance saloon for Oakland. It's Tony Phillips with 2 outs in the 10th. Clemens has allowed 2 hits and 3 walks in 9 2/3 innings. Clemens winds and delivers to Phillips. 25. Okay. It's a walk, but got the pitcher modifier table. And he's a B. The B is hitting the air to center. Tony Armas. And the Red Sox win in 10 innings by a score of 1-0. The line score for the victorious and visiting Boston Red Sox of 1986 vintage. 1 run on 6 hits, and they committed 1 error. For Oakland, 1989 Oakland A's, no runs on 2 hits, and they committed no errors. Winning pitcher, Roger Clemens. Losing pitcher, Rick Honeycutt. Thanks for being with me. Hope you enjoyed the demo of the manager cards for Pine Tar Baseball. Check them out at ttlbaseballgame.com. Information in the description for the video. Thanks for being with me. Don't forget to click like and subscribe to my channel. I need your subscriptions to keep the channel going. Thank you, my friends. Have a wonderful day. So long, everybody.